I shall try to indicate the beautiful harmony between physical science and religion as understood in the Hindu tradition. It is so different from the approach that these two subjects received in the whole of Western tradition. Constant conflict between science and religion, constant conflict between religion and religion, denomination and denomination. When we are educated in this kind of a tradition, we cannot imagine that there can be another tradition where this conflict doesn't occur. And I am here to convey to you this profound aspect of the Indian tradition. There is absolutely no conflict from the Indian point of view between physical sciences and the science of religion. We are all sitting, listening with your ears to something being said, looking with the eyes to the speaker. The sense organs are functioning. We get knowledge out of that functioning of the sense organs. But when you are in prayer, you close your eyes. You become silent. You shut out all sense organs. You calm the mind. These are the two levels of human life. With the sense organs and without the sense organs. The second is something new in the West, at least during the last 100 years. We never knew that there is such an experience where you go beyond the sensory level, what you call today meditation. Imagine 50 years ago, this was a freak word, meditation. We knew how to see the world. We knew how to investigate the world. We knew how to handle that world. We never knew much of meditation. But during these post-war years, it is a remarkable new development. People want to meditate. What does it mean? It is good for us to ask that question. Because by asking that question, we shall understand this great subject of religion side by side with the subject of science, which we already understand. The whole civilization today is based on physical science. And that science is based on investigation of the world revealed by the sense organs and by instruments helpful to the sense organs. We call it sense data. We organize this sense data, classify them, ask questions, get answers, discover laws by which nature functions. And that knowledge gives us control over nature's forces. We utilize these energies to improve our life. Out of all these wonderful processes known as scientific method, we have built up a very rich civilization today. An amazing civilization, because we have conquered space, put a man on the moon, sent one rocket even beyond the solar system. Extraordinary achievements of what we call physical science, by the side of which what other science can be? That question is very relevant. And many agnostics today still ask that question. What other science can be other than this? Here are the five senses. We see the world, we experience it, we study it, we control it. That too, tremendous control, tremendous manipulation, and we become rich materially, socially. What more is there to study? What more is there to investigate? That is a very relevant question. At the same time, since the post-war period, millions of people are shutting out their sense organs, calming their minds, trying to experience a state called meditation. What are we doing there? 50 years ago, if you sit in meditation, any of the parks here, they will shake your heads. What are you doing? Wasting your time? It's absolutely meaningless. That would have been the reaction. Today it is not so. We realize there is something profound to be achieved by sitting in silence, quiet, meditation, calming the senses, calming the mind, and we are on a great adventure from that inward development. It is here you have a profound approach to the subject of religion. Religion has nothing to do with the sensory data. We have the physical sciences to deal with the subject. But what lies above the sensory level? A profound mystery is hiding there. We never asked that question all these 300 years. We were busy perfecting this physical science. Today, at the farthest reach of our achievements in physical science, the other question has started raising its head with a compelling force. One famous poet, I think Coleridge, is quoted by one of the great scientists, Arthur Thomson, in his book Introduction to Science. He says, at the farthest reach of man's intellectual tether, he falls down and worships. He also says, wonder and doubt are the beginning of all knowledge, of all science. That is also the beginning of religion. Another type of wonder, another type of doubt. So today you find this new dimension, the mind questioning what lies above the sensate level. What's the nature of that dimension above the sensate level? Here are the senses, here the mind, controlled by the senses to study sense data. When you sit in meditation, you silence the sense organs, you silence the mind. Is there a dimension of reality beyond the sensory level? If it is so, it is a wonderful subject of investigation. It is worth investigating. Till now we didn't worry about it. Today we are compelled to go into it. Why? Because all the knowledge the physical sciences have given us, all the power that they have given to our hands, have made our life comfortable, but not fulfilled. So many problems have arisen. We say normally, knowledge destroys fear. Here is a primitive individual. He is full of fear. Any natural event is a cause of fear. We develop physical sciences and banish that fear. Today's man has no fear of nature's phenomena because we understand it, we grip it. So knowledge destroys fear is a beautiful statement. And yet when you study it deeply, we have enormous knowledge today. But can we say we have no fear? The ruling state of the human mind today in this 20th century is fear. All stress and strain comes from fear. All the psychic distortions of man come from fear. Only we have shifted fear from one field to another field. Till now it was in the external field, to the primitive man. That we have banished. We are not afraid of these things. But nameless fears come and assail us every minute. They give us tension. They give us a sense of unfulfillment. And today's condition is entirely the condition of a fear proceeding from some dimension we do not know anything about. There is a terra incognita. It is that terra incognita that we are eager to discuss today, both from theoretical point of view and from practical point of view. Practical point of view, I have already said, why should I remain peaceless and tense when I have everything around me? Very practical question. Most people have everything the body and mind need. Food, shelter, clothing, comfort, pleasure, all the gadgets, everything is there. And a first-class house. But yet, I am not happy. I am not fulfilled. I can't live at peace with the next individual. I can't communicate with that individual. What has happened to me? Some profound unfulfillment. A tremendous sense of fear and anxiety. The word anxiety comes again and again in modern literature. What is it due to? This question when you ask, you turn to the great sages of the Upanishads, 4,000 years ago, who dealt with this subject with a thoroughness rarely equaled in history. A study of man in depth. We study him from the outside, just like we study any object in this world. That's what physical sciences do, starting with astronomy, physics, chemistry, botany, zoology. Then we study the human system, physiology, anatomy, neurology. Then we go to behavioristic psychology. All this is an external study based on sensory data. All this constitutes physical science. After all these studies, something is missing. Some nameless fear is gnawing at my heart, and that is the prevailing condition of man in this beautiful civilization of ours. That is why the mind is compelled to seek for another avenue to human life and human destiny. Physical science alone will not do. There must be a science higher than this, which goes deeper into the human system. And what is that? Vedanta, in the ancient Upanishads, after a thorough investigation into this great subject, told us this is the science of man in depth. The word in Sanskrit is Adhyatma Vidya, man as the Atman, the infinite divine self that is in man, beyond the body, beyond the senses, beyond the intellect, beyond the ego, that infinite self, that is our true nature, ever pure, ever free, ever illumined, is that internal nature of man. These senses cannot reveal that. This mind cannot reveal it. So long as the mind is tied to the sense organs, this mind cannot reveal it. And yet, it is part and parcel of our experience. How to understand it? When you study the Upanishads, you are in the presence of gigantic intellects, men of great purity, men of great penetrating mind, who took up this great challenge and discovered profound truths about man, his growth, his development, his fulfillment. I use the word truths, not opinions, because the word used in science is truth. Science discovers truth, truth of nature. Here also, this science discovers truth about man, the depth of the human spirit. What is there? It must be realized. It must be experienced. India developed, therefore, from very ancient times, along with physical sciences, a science of religion, a science of spirituality. Today when I read Sir Julian Huxley, a late noted biologist, in his lecture at the Chicago University Congress of Scientists to celebrate Darwin's centenary, 1959, in his lecture he said, we have many sciences today, but we want a new science. And he calls it the science of human possibilities. That's a beautiful term. And when you study the Upanishads, study the Gita, you realize that that is the science that was developed, the science of human possibilities. Why should I become depressed? Why should I become distracted, bored? Or why should I commit suicide? What is the strength that can lift me out of all this, install me in my own dignity and strength as a man? That science is what Huxley calls the science of human possibilities. It was such a science India developed in the Upanishads as Adhyatma Vidya. And remember, there is absolutely no conflict between the physical sciences developed earlier and this science of human depth developed later. It is a continuous scientific quest for truth. You may keep departments of science apart, but science itself doesn't know these departments. For our convenience, we call it this and we call it that. Just like the oceans, we call them by different names, Atlantic, Pacific, etc. The earth knows only one ocean. Similarly, truth is one. You approach it through the sensory system. You approach it beyond the sensory system. Both these capacities are present in the human being. Vedanta says to every human being, nature has endowed you with an organic capacity to investigate truth in the external world and the world above the sensory level. And the whole subject was handled with the most scientific thoroughness, with precise terminologies, precise concepts, international in scope, not confined to any particular sect or group, etc. We respect physical science today because it gives you a set of international concepts, international terminologies, which are universal. Nothing parochial about it, because it is a search for truth. Truth that is there. I just discover the truth there. I don't create a truth there. Similarly, when you go into the heart of man, you discover profound truths. And these truths have an additional quality. You can experience them. You can realize them. Truths of chemistry and physics are far away from me. This deals with myself, deals with yourself. That is why this science of man in depth was given a preeminence in the Indian tradition. I may have all the sciences outside. I may get all the power from these sciences. Yet I may remain unhappy, tense, unfulfilled if this science is not added to that. Why not combine these two? In this modern period, it was Swami Vivekananda who came and said, we must combine the physical sciences and the science of spirituality. If humanity is to achieve fulfillment, individually and collectively, we need this beautiful combination. Two energy streams blending together as the science of reality in its total vision, nature and man. Much of nature is in man also, and we study it through physiology, chemistry, etc. But in man there is a higher nature pulsing, which we do not know much. Though writers occasionally refer to it, our own American scientist of the last century, Alexis Carrel, he wrote that famous book, Man the Unknown. Here is man the known, which I study through physics, chemistry in the body, physiology, anatomy, neurology, etc. That is man the known, a bit of physical nature in me. But there is something plus in me. What is that something plus? Man the unknown. He just gave a hint towards the end of the last century. He had studied Indian literature. In those days things were already, Swami Vivekananda knew him. At that time so many were here at that time. But today we need this subject very badly from, as I said, practical compulsions, theoretical compulsions. Practical compulsions I have already referred to, that in this highly developed society of ours, we see more and more human beings with distorted psyches, with so much of crime and other delinquencies, and the whole social situation distorted. What is wrong? Plenty of science, plenty of technology are there, but something is missing. What is that missing? The most important thing is missing. That is why the science of religion developed in India as a science. Why as a science? Because it is a discovery of profound truths about the depths in the human spirit. And the truths are presented to you not for belief, not for conformity, but for your verification. You can check up. Verification is in life itself. There is no separate laboratory in which you can verify this. The profoundest laboratory is the human mind, this human system. Try to verify these truths there. Check it up. Then enjoy the fruit of that profound discovery.